Hey guys, today we are going to continue with what we attempted to start on Friday and didn't make a whole lot of progress. So, I'm just going to get my bearings here. Just hang tight, guys. I bumped into a hashkiller.co.uk forum post um, where somebody has cracked. So on Friday, let me move. Oh, I'm not sharing my monitor. Hold on. Okay, cool. All right. So you can see on my monitor, we have this Troy Hunt article open. This is where we kind of started from. This was the whole purpose of the stream. Was this dude uploaded 500,000,000 passwords um, in a password list, and we were going to use that password list to crack my, hopefully break into my router. Um, I tried doing that a few years ago with Kali Linux with no success, and I would like to see if we can have success this time. But first off, I'm going to pull up a website. I'm going to pull up a website, forum.hashkiller.co.uk/topic view.aspx. Topic is equal to 222.217. I don't know if, let me see what this results in. Perfect. So I went to this Troy Hunt forum post. The guy who created this password list of 500,000,000 pwn passwords. So I downloaded that password list, 8.8 gigabytes to be precise. Huge password list. Problem was that password list. Hold on. I'm just going to open up my Twitch stream so I could see the chat. Okay. So, okay, hold on. Monday morning, I'm out of sync right now. Okay, so I downloaded those 500,000,000 passwords. Problem was I didn't look that closely. Those passwords are all SHA-1 hashed. So it's a one-way hash where the only way you could reverse it is by knowing what the password is. So for example, it's hashing somebody's password, and then to dehash it, there's really no way of dehashing it. What you do is you hash somebody's password. Just this is how websites should work. Maybe small mom and pop websites that have login credentials for their customers, let's say, they hopefully don't store the passwords in clear text. But what they should do instead, like most other sites, is they hash them. So in this case, these are SHA-1 hashed passwords, and then you store the hash in the database. And then how it works is when somebody comes back to log into your website, you take whatever they entered in the password field, and you don't store that. You SHA-1 it. You hash it with the same hash algorithm that it's persisted in the database using, and you compare the hashes. So when I try to log in a second time after creating an account, we just take the password, we SHA-1 it, and we compare that hash with what was stored when the guy created the account. And if they're a match, then his password was entered correctly. So that way the website doesn't store their passwords. They don't know what the password is. It could be salted. Yeah, absolutely. It could be. So yeah, so like salt is like a little bit of entropy added in. And whenever I work on sites, a lot of times we'll actually store in a configuration file kind of a salt, and that could just be a bunch of random numeric values or alphanumeric. It doesn't matter. Okay. Hey Ramon, it's good to see you back, dude. So yeah, we made it. So anyway, on Friday, how far did we get? So I need to run a virtual machine of Kali because I need a host machine running to stream Twitch. So I know Kali has a live boot option, and that would be ideal to do what we're doing. But if I live boot, I would be basically booting my thumbnail drive to Linux, and I would have no ability to stream unless I install some sort of streaming software on Kali. But it's just not worth going down that path. So we downloaded a VirtualBox image, and then we started it up, and things were looking okay for a bit, and then we quickly realized that I had no access to my wireless adapter on my host machine. So we weren't able to actually connect or use Aircrack in any way, shape, or form. I looked into it a little deeper, and I thought I would be able to build on my machine, and then somebody had an idea of using something called backports, or its old term was known as wireless connect without the E in connect. It was a project. And I built that project and I registered it. And then I was able to run Aircrack, or more specifically, I was able to run ifconfig, and I saw my wireless adapter. But then when I went into Aircrack to actually inspect what sort of wireless routers are out there broadcasting, it was unable to capture any broadcast. So it didn't work for me. So I went out and I bought a Dlink DW130 wireless USB adapter. So this is what we're using, and we should be hopefully in a good state now. So let's get into here. Hold on. So yeah, I get it. I'm sure it's easy to install OBS, and that's what I use, but I don't know. Yeah. I spent a lot of time trying to build the drivers and using this backports project to actually get the wireless adapter working. Some people, there was a guy on YouTube who said it would work, and yeah, exactly. So one can only send and receive. So yeah, it didn't really work out too well. So the time I spent, I just got frustrated, and I said, you know what, I'm going out. I'm gonna grab a wireless USB adapter because I think it'll become useful for me for other streams anyway. I wouldn't mind covering some more Kali stuff. Like I was saying on Friday, I'm no expert at this at all. I've used it a couple of times, and that was back in probably 2013, 2014. So you've got a programmer who's somewhat savvy with computers, so I can probably figure it out. But I appreciate the help from the crowd as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect that D-Link wireless adapter. So let's open up the terminal, see what we got going on. So we've got our loop back, and we got an Ethernet, so like a hard-coded Ethernet adapter. Actually, I know what I'm missing. Let's do this. So if you look into running Kali, and if you run like Aircrack or anything that does like wireless attacks, so you can see these guys. So where is it? Wireless attacks. We're running Aircrack for this. And it seems to be really finicky, for me at least, getting wireless adapters to work. So I plugged in this USB adapter. Works great on my host machine, but it's unrecognized by Kali. So I did install the VirtualBox additions, and maybe that would help, but it didn't. But what I need to do is I just need to load this Linux driver, and that should do it. So like if you ever look at the Kali Linux documentation, We did this on Friday when we were trying to figure out what the problem was. And a lot of the documentation just said to load these drivers. So we'll sudo hopefully load up this driver. And let's try now. So let's try iwconfig. Oh, that's not going to help me. Sudo mod probe. Maybe I'll unplug this wireless adapter. Let me see. Oh. When I ran that mod probe command to load that Linux driver, maybe it added that. Let's just see. There we go. I just needed to remove my USB adapter and plug it back in. Actually, you know what I did wrong? When you load up the driver using this command, I think you need to have the adapter unplugged. And then after the command is executed, you can plug it in. Anyway, so we've got our wireless adapter now. So this is great. So this is good. So here's kind of what I was going to work through on Friday. Is I just pulled up a step-by-step how to crack a wireless adapter or a wireless router. And this is what I was going to work through. So we didn't make it far at all, but now we're doing okay. Like I ran step 1 as far as this tutorial talks about. And we were able to display our adapters. So we know we have WLAN 0, and that's the typical name for it. But that looks good. So now we're successful on step 1. So we can run this command. I don't know if it's necessary. Some wireless cards give error message to enable monitor mode. So we need to, in a few steps down, we need to set our wireless adapter. Yeah, I might install those VirtualBox extensions properly, but I don't know. For now, I don't think we really need them. I would need them, I guess, if I needed to share a folder on my host and see it. Probably for other things too, but so far I think we're okay. So we need to enable monitor mode on this wireless adapter because we're going to collect that handshake file in a moment. So let's go ahead and run this command. It may or may not be necessary by the sounds of it. It just says some wireless cards give error message when you enable monitor mode, and monitor mode is right here. So this next step, we're going to use airmon to start this adapter in monitor mode. So we may have to open a few terminals here. So we'll let this guy run. So this step will enable monitor mode on the wireless card. The command is as follows. And obviously this can change depending on your wireless adapter when you run iwconfig. But as Ramon's pointed out, yeah, it's pretty standard. Like aircrack-ng, yeah, like WLAN 0 is pretty standard. So right on. So also, yeah, it'll return back the handle to the monitor. So if I can stretch this out right here, like we're running, our adapter is, the handle is WLAN 0, but the monitor that this is created on WLAN 0, the handle to that is WLAN 0 mon. So why do people write tutorials when they don't know why they need to kill the DHCP client? Yeah, absolutely. Give us, I'm open to input. Like I said, I mean, I've done this a couple of times, but I am no Kelly master. So while you're doing that, let me open up. So anyway, I kind of jumped into Kali. We'll go back to those tutorial steps. But the point being was we want to capture that handshake file from my wireless router. And then what we want to do is we want to try to break that handshake file, like try to find out the successful password to connect to that wireless router using this guy's 500,000,000 passwords. But I was getting to the fact that the problem is they're all hashed. However, there's been somebody on this community who has jumped out and has decided to download that guy's file at 8.8 gigabytes. And he cracked 94.5%. But he ended up posting where is it? Near the end, obviously. So he ended up posting, uploading to Dropbox the plain passwords. He was able to break almost 500,000,000. So 96, almost 97% of those hashes he was able to crack. And he uploaded them to Dropbox. So I tried downloading them this morning. I tried downloading them last night, but he didn't have this step posted. I was following this thread over the weekend, and I was waiting for this guy, Mex666666, to upload to Dropbox his results. And unfortunately, he didn't late last night. He did obviously have this up this morning, but it is already downloaded to the max. But that's okay because it's going to take us a ton of time to run that word list of passwords against our handshake file. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to run offline and have the results of in at least a day or so, I'm assuming. I'm guessing. So the check kill command kills, just reading Ramon's post, check kill commands kills interfacing processes. For example, if you go and capture the packets with these running, you get a lot of false crap. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. And the tools will probably crash. So, right, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and I want to work through and get that that password file. Do I have the right? Did I leave here? Where did I go? Here we go. Sorry. So, okay. So now we've got the monitor active on that wireless adapter. So let's go ahead and air dump to this monitor. So this will, we need to use the command air dump ng ylan mon. This will display all the access. So this will just show all my neighbors, including my own routers. So I'm going to open up, I guess I can run it in this terminal. But then I'll leave that running. I'll open up a new terminal. So let's go ahead and where is mine? Dinner in a bowl. Perfect. So I'm going to need that address to that guy. And so now we can see all of our surrounding wireless access points. We need to do this. We need to do this. And then this air dump, this is just going to be persistently running. And it's going to output the handshake packets that come from the wireless access point that I'm trying to attack. And it will store those in that handshake file. After that's done, then we take the file it writes to and hammer it with that word list down here. So on step 7, we're going to do that. But first we want to copy this, and I'll paste it in, and it'll just continuously run. So we know we have WLAN mon. We know that's our monitor. A path to write the data packets to. So I'll just write them to my home directory. We'll just call it dump is fine. And what it's going to do, it's going to create like pcapture files, a bunch of files where it's dumping this stuff. So I need that unique SSID, and I copied it, but I think it's out of my clipboard. So I'll copy it again. Copy that. So now it knows what access point we're trying to dump to. And what channel is that running on? 6. So let's dump. And arrow dump ng. So it's just going to sit here and use that monitor and just capture all the packets from my router. But we have to send some information to trick it to return these packets that we dump into the packet capture file. So this is going to run. Oh, let me do this. Okay, perfect. Nothing's coming to it yet, but in another step. Hey, Spale9. Ever heard of Tmux? Let me see. I'll copy that. What is Tmux? I'm going to get off this page. I'll never install Aircrack. It was the most painful thing ever, trying to get that to run. Oh, what did I use before? I used, what the hell did I use? What the heck was it called? I used another utility. And let me just look on my network. And I've actually got a license for it. And I've been using this other utility, and it shares the monitors over the network as long as they're all on the same network. And I can use the mouse to jump monitors between computers. And so what the heck was the name of it? And then maybe it'll be the same one you're talking about, Ramones. No, it wasn't Screen. It's really old. And I don't know if it's the best to use anymore, but I used it because somebody back in about 2005 put me onto it. And it was on sourceforge.net. It was on sourceforge.net. Remember, I don't know how, depending on how old you guys are, but sourceforge.net was like the one and only GitHub of the day. I mean, there was no GitHub back when sourceforge.net was around. Anyway, monitor sharing app. What was the one I used? Now, now you got me on this. I want to find out what the hell I used. I just don't use it anymore, so it's like, it's not necessarily screen sharing apps. Maybe I'm saying the wrong word. Clearly I am. It's like mouse, dual display. Synergy. That's what I used. Synergy is what I used. And I went on to Next Web Deals I went on there a few years ago. Or I think Stack Social as well, same stuff. And I got it on here for like $1 for a key. But I don't know if you guys ever use Next Web Deals or Stack Social, but once in a while I come here and I get stuff dirt cheap. But I'm looking at the crap on here right now and I wouldn't buy it. I mean, that's pretty good. If you want to learn 5 course bundle, I don't know how good the courses are, but for $1, and it's just like Humble, where it's like you beat the average price and the average price goes up. And if you spend $1, it looks like you get 1 through 4 because those look unlocked. Let's just see. Let's say I'm willing to pay $1. Yeah, whatever. So if I pay $1, all I get Selenium WebDriver with Python 3. Big deal. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I use Synergy, and it's pretty cool. And I should probably set it up now that I'm going to start streaming some stuff, because then I can, because I've got my MacBook in front of me, and I've got my Windows host, which I'm streaming on now, and I could just install it on Kali, for example. Yeah, you know what? I probably should. Anyway, I'll look at it later. Okay, so let's go back to this mess, and let's go through the steps. This won't take long. I don't think it'll take too long. So this just needs to be continuously running. So this is just running. I mean, the command that I ran is clearly running. And we need to now send some information to that router to start capturing packets. So we did step 5. This command will capture the packets in the air and will gather the data from the wireless packets in the air and write it out to dump. So if I open up files, we should see dump 01 capture file, CSV, Kesmet, Kesmet XML. This looks like an old test I did. I'll delete those. Perfect. So here's our dump. So it's actually writing a little bit out, but it takes a while for it to get enough packets to be able to use those to apply towards our word list. So we need to run another command to start feeding it with some information to start writing out to the packet capture file. So airplay-ng deauth 10. I'm not too sure what the deauth is. Let's actually run. How much do I need to give? Synergy's awesome. I use that for, yeah. I just had a brain fart. I don't know why I couldn't remember the name, because it's a pretty easy name to remember. But yeah, I've been using that since about 2005. I use it a lot back in the day at one company I worked at. And then, how much RAM do I need to give Kali? So if you want to look, we can look at mine. By default, it was 2 gigs, I think. And 2 virtual processors were assigned to the download. So you can just download a VMware image or a VirtualBox image, a VBox image or a VMware image. And by default, it gave 2 gigs of memory and 2 virtual processors. But I up the base memory because I've got 24 gigs of RAM on here. But it's running Linux. Really, there's no graphics involved. The I/O to the hard drive seems to be pretty trivial. It's just writing out some dumps. So I think there won't be much of a stranglehold on performance, even if you run it with 1 or 2 gigs and 1 or 2 virtual processors. So I don't think you need a massive computer to host Kali Linux. Just remember, though, if you weren't here for Friday's stream, you'll need to buy a USB wireless adapter if you're running a virtual machine, because it won't be able to use your host machine's wireless adapter because obviously it's in use. Okay. So now let's do this. So let's start de-authenticating the connected client on Wi-Fi. So let's start de-authenticating that wireless router. But what this command is really going to do is it's going to send packets to what this monitor is monitoring, and it'll actually create information that we'll use to crack the password. So it's writing it out to that dump capture file. But let me open a new terminal because we need this monitor to continuously run. So I can't stop this process. This process, I mean, is just showing all of the wireless adapters in range. I could kill that, but whatever. So let's just do airplay-ng. Or is it air eplay? So de-authenticate one or all stations. Really, I think there's just, I'm not too sure what stations means. What do you guys, so if we look at my monitor file, like if we look at my monitor in this terminal up here, it's got 3 different stations. What is that? What is a station? So, yeah, save the world. Yeah, I'm running Kali in VirtualBox right now, and I had to go and buy a USB Wi-Fi adapter, and I ended up buying, it got a little bit hairy. Like when I looked at Kali's help files, they kind of warn you like, so I'm in Canada, so this router maybe is only sold in Canada. But normally that's just because Canada has like, just like the US, you guys have, where was that? Here we go. So you guys have the FCC that, you know, certifies your radio components, things that broadcast over the air, and we use Industry Canada. It's the same thing, right? 6 1/2. But I guess just because we have a little bit of our own, you know, standards industry, I guess maybe a lot of these companies repackage, and it's not the router, it's actually, let me get the wireless adapter. USB adapter. So I don't know if you're able to buy the N300, but all it is this is just the Dlink fancy name it gives it. Yeah, save the world. I check all my adapters. Yeah, exactly. But just so if you're interested, it's the DWA130, but specifically mine is the DWA131 F1 model. So I don't know if that's a newer version, but it worked. However, it worked only after we did that mod probe. If you weren't here earlier, I had to run mod probe, and on that wiki page, wikidevi.com, you can find your adapter, and then from there you can find the most likely Linux driver, and you just need to copy that string. And if you're having problems, obviously having Kali recognize your USB adapter, you'll have to find your driver name for your USB wireless adapter, and you'll have to load it. And make sure you do it. Make sure you unplug your wireless adapter when you do this. And then once that runs, you can plug your wireless adapter back in, and it should recognize using this command, iwconfig. So, right on. Okay. Okay, so we want to, hold on a sec. So is the TP link, I don't know, man. Scale 9. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Hey, looks like we got a couple followers. M1 triple BBB, thanks for the follow, and Spale9, thanks for this follow, dude. I don't know if that's gonna work. Like, how do I tell on here? Because this one seems a little bit different than mine. For example, let's just see if I can actually load that driver. Let me actually check here. Mod probe. Let's see if there's some help. And I just want to see, without loading it, shows depends maybe. Or I could do just -N for a dry run just to see if it actually runs. And let's see if we can load up that driver. And even then it's not guaranteed because it says probable driver is, looks okay. Let me try this show depends. So yeah, so it looks like Kali is loaded with the driver for Spale9 for your wireless adapter. But unless somebody can point out something other than this, but it just says probable Linux driver. It's assuming that this is the driver. And if you need to run backports, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. So backports used to be Connect Wireless, but we can open this up. And backports, let's go to Git. If you have a wireless adapter and its driver can't be loaded or isn't found on Kali Linux, and it says that, if we go back here, if it says that it's in backports, you may have to build backports on Kali Linux. So we could go to user documentation overview. Let's just have a peek. And I kind of got to this point and I didn't want to install this, but kernel integration mode, package release mode. I don't know if you can do an apt get on backports or not. Apt get, how do we see if something exists? Remove, purge, dist upgrade, source, download, change log. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Kind of going a little bit too far into this than I want to. But hopefully you don't need to build and install backports to get your USB adapter to be recognized. But it looks like for you, Spale9, you could probably just mod probe and load this driver into Kali Linux and just make sure your USB adapter isn't plugged in when you run that command. Make sure you sudo it. I think you might need to sudo the mod probe to load that driver. You got to be running as root. But we are logged in as root, so you probably don't need that. Sorry. So tip. Sorry, I'm just going to go through the comments here. Greg HOT. This one's good. So TL Win 72. Cool. TP link. I guess you did say it was good, so you basically covered that. And everyone else did. I guess I should have read ahead. How much? My adapter cost me 25 bucks. So $25. Let's go to Amazon.com. So Dlink Mine was an N300. I don't know if that's available in the United States. I know I get a lot of viewers from Germany. I don't know on Amazon.de what you guys have available, but that's not what my adapter looks like. But yeah. Um, how about your, how much is your TP link? TLW 22N. For $15. That's pretty cheap. There you go. And it's clearly everybody's saying it's gonna work, so that's a pretty good deal. And you can get it on Prime, so you could have it overnight if you've got Prime. That'd be pretty good. So there you go. You'll need an adapter that support monitor mode. Exactly. Hey, sir, every would work. I don't think every wireless adapter would work. Unless I'm mistaken, you need to go to this wikidevi.com, put in the model and or brand, try to find the wireless adapter that you're planning on buying. And at the very least, you need to make sure there's a Linux driver available. And preferably, you don't have to install things like backports to add like legacy or MIS drivers. Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you need adapter that can inject packets? Otherwise, right. Can't. I can confirm that TP link will work. Awesome. What's the price? Yeah, null byte, wonder how to. So, which one's this? The best wireless network adapter for hacking. Sweet. Anyway, yeah, right on. Or you know what you guys can do though? Like, remember, the only reason why I'm running the virtual machine is because I need to run my OBS streaming. So I need my host machine running as well. So I have to run Kali on. Well, I don't have to. Like Ramones 99 pointed out, you can install my streaming software on Linux, but it's just too much of a pain. You guys, however, can boot Kali from thumbnail USB drive. Here you go. And this is on their own site. So you will need to format. There you go. If you're planning on booting and creating this on Windows, you download this to format the thumb drive. You need at least 4 gigs of a thumb drive. Here's the steps clearly. So this is the disk imager. So you would download an ISO file from that Kali official download. So one of these will be your ISO file that you want. But first you have to format that USB drive so it's bootable. And then you use this disk imager to find that ISO file you downloaded from Kali, and it'll just copy it onto your thumb drive. And now you should be able to boot up, and you may have to go to your BIOS to change your boot order to make sure that thumbnail is read before like your hard drive, so you don't load your host operating system. But yeah, so for sure you can just do a live CD on a USB thumbnail drive, and then you'll be running the Linux as your host machine. So you don't need a USB adapter. You'll just use your host machine's USB adapter. I'm not sure the difference between Kali Lite and normal. I really don't. Kali Lite versus normal. Let's just see what comes up. There you go. Kali Lite comes with the XFCE desktop instead, I guess, GNOME, and a stripped down package list. While the full version comes with GNOME and all packages. So you've got the nicer, I guess, Windows interface. But I don't know. I'm not really a Linux desktop guy myself. I use Linux servers, so I'm more comfortable in terminals. So maybe the light for some of you as well would be easier to work with. Because most of the stuff, all the stuff we're going to do is going to be in the terminal window anyway. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to where we were. So we've got our monitor running. We just need to send some decrypting information to the router we're connected to. And it is airplay, oh, whatever. I had it on there. I'll copy it in here. So I'll copy this. And all I'm going to need to replace is the SSID to the router in question, which is right here. So let's go ahead and run this. I'm going to move this up a little bit. And now we should see some activity coming into this monitor. We should see the frames growing. Let's see. I copied this straight from their webpage, and I think their dashes aren't valid dashes. Dauth. So it's double dash for dauth. We can see here in the help. And A for our SSID, just to make sure. Dash B. So replay options. So we're going to barf a bunch of deauthorizing, de-authenticating information using AirPlay to this guy. And this monitor will capture those packets that are returned. Let me just see what I'm missing here. Dauth. Let me just make sure I've got everything. Airplay ng. Okay. dauth dash A, and I'll paste our SSID. No replay. Interesting. What am I missing? Let's go back to here. Let's just see what I'm missing. Oh, and then, and then I'm missing the interface. So here we go. Here's what I think I'm missing. And WLAN 0 mon. So we know what we're shooting to. And now we can see, hopefully it's waiting. Let's just see what happens. No such E7F3. No such. Please specify -E. What am I missing here? Fake auth attack options. What's the difference between a fake auth versus a replay option? So let's look at airplay.ng fake auth versus replay. Since I'm a noob, I'll look at this. Let me just see. So here's where we load up your driver. Great. This is building Aircrack. This may not be very helpful. Replay Ramones, what's that? Replays captured handshake. Yeah, that's not what I want, right? Because I want to actually capture that handshake. So just following their steps. So Aircrack-ng, airplay, so active attacks. First step is make sure your packet injection really works with your card and driver. The easiest way is the injection test attack. Make sure to perform this test prior to proceeding. Your card must be able to successfully inject in order to perform the following steps. You need that, and that. So, do I need to supply my ESID? Do I need to supply also this string, which is my router broadcast name? Well, let me see. Oh, let me try this. So it seems like I actually had to supply the -E. So this attack is more effective when targeting a connected wireless client, the client's Mac. Sending deauth. So let me see I need a bit of help here. So replays captured, yeah. Fake auth can be used to collect IV vectors and use them to crack the key. Won't work on WPA2. Is the fake auth won't work on WPA2? No, I'm not a teacher, and I haven't studied this. No, you could say. So let's see. That wasn't enough though, right? Like we can see the frames increasing. I thought the value after A is your BSSID of your access point. Great. If the injection works, you should see something like this. Sending authentication request. And sending authentication requests. Authentication successful. Sending associated requests. And that's not what I'm seeing. Use fake auth when there's no clients on the network. There's definitely clients on the network. So AirPlay. So maybe I'll look through this a little closer. Airplay-ng deauth 5 A C What is the client Mac though? of the targeted client. Would that be, hey, Ramones? Um, would that be the station? Like, so dash C, is each one of these stations a connected client on this network? I would assume so, right? What is a station? AeroDump will not display the station MAC address. AeroDump will not display the station. Well, I'm going to drop in. Let's just see here. So let's try dash C. I don't know if that makes sense. Sending 64 directed deauth. How do I continue this? Yeah, we're still hacking Wi-Fi there, XCX. Yeah, WPA2 deauth and password cracking. That's right. Yeah, so if I'm not wrong, a station is like a device connected to the Wi-Fi. So that's what I put in. That's what I put in. I put in a station here where C is the MAC of the targeted client. But no, that wouldn't be the MAC of the target, because no, I'm a little bit, Like we can see there are clients connected to my Wi-Fi. This guy. These guys. Just want this replay to yeah, I'm trying to plano devo. I'm trying to capture the handshake and then exactly. So I'm trying to get that, and we're capturing the handshake. But I'm expecting to see something along the lines of this. Did you listen? Yeah, so we created XCX. So we created a monitor on my wireless adapter, which is WLAN 0 mon. And we've got our dump started, and we are dumping to our home directory into these files. And the captures are growing, obviously. But I'm expecting some sort of a response to tell me more than. So I'm using AirPlay to send those deauthorization requests to this. And it is working. I don't think he's connected to the access point. Just keep trying to deauth until you get a handshake. So you really think just, isn't there a way to have that just continuously replay though? Number of packets per second. So Ramon's talked about fake auth when there's no clients, and also, but it wouldn't work on WPA, WPA2 encryption. So that's no good. I guess I could make some sort of shell script to run it, but the thing is you are deauthing, but you have to wait until the client reconnects to the network. Only then can you capture the handshake. So let me see here. So for example, if I turn off my Wi-Fi on my MacBook, should we see a station drop in this list? Like, is this the MAC of the adapter? Is that the MAC of the adapter? I guess that is. I just thought it might show up as a station. Where's the time that I used to try to find out how to do this shit? Ha ha ha. I don't know, dude. I'm gonna look at Morpheus's link. So, Airmon NG start YLAN 0. Capture the traffic with arrow dump NG, which we did right up here. Focus arrow dump NG on one access point on one channel. Okay. Arrow jump NB. Yeah, that's fine. And that's what we did. So that's exactly what's going on up in this terminal. Looks like I lost a client. And then our AirPlay deauth. So I guess this is how many deauthorization broadcasts we send. So or maybe I'm wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ah. So here's how I can flood it. Yeah, XCX. It should tell me if I've captured the handshake. That's what I'm expecting. How can you tell I already have the handshake? Is it because of this? Because that's been there for a while, right? Where it says WPA handshake. I think so, right? Cool. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to control C this. I'm going to bump out of that. So we can simply stop the monitoring. So we've got this on channel 6, waiting for beacon frame. Sending deauth. Yeah. Let's look at, so maybe then, so if we can see on this image, channel 6, elapsed 16 seconds, the date, fixed channel, monitor 011. So basically this image on this web page is where we were, and then like everybody is telling me, we already have the handshake. So we saw this appear at some point. Obviously I didn't, but that will tell us we're good. Awesome. And then we already sent the deauth. We don't care. The previous step, we bounced the user off their own access point, and now they re-authenticate. Arrow dump will attempt to grab their password in a new 4-way handshake. Let's go ahead. Let's go back to arrow dump ng terminal and check to see whether or not we've been successful. Right. So like you guys have said, so we saw the WPA handshake and we're golden. So notice in the top line to the far right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Now that we have the encrypted password in our WPA crack, and in our case it's dump, we can run the file against aircrack-ng using the password file of our choice. So our password file is going to be, where are the password files? Because they supply us, because, okay, so let's go back. The message is being held for review. I don't know why that's being held for review. Okay, I'm just catching up on the chat. To the PCAP file or something. Yeah, exactly. XCX. We've got our dump here. Perfect. Spale9, AirPlay NG. What does the switch O do? So this is our access point, and this is the client. And all I did is I grabbed a station with -C. So according to, so if we look at the I won't run the AirPlay again because we don't need to. We've got our access point right here. And these are the clients connected to it. I'm going to connect my iMac or my MacBook back up to the network, and we should see a new client pop up or a new station. So according to step 5 here, what we did is when we ran that AeroPlay, we bounced the user off of their own access point, and when they try to keep re-authenticating, arrow dump will try to grab their hash password information into that packet capture file, and then we can do aircrack to use that handshake file against our word list or our password list. So here's the access point, dinner in a bowl. That's great. But then we were dumping off this client, and he would try to re-authenticate, and by him doing that, we were able to capture that handshake. So that encrypted attempt of him trying to log and authenticate. Awesome. Okay, so I think I'm getting the vibe here. So how long will this take? Yeah, that's going to be the password cracking. So this, let's go back up. So we're good. I think we can kill the monitor. So let's see, this won't work. Next time, please read the effing manual before you rush in. Saves you a lot of stress. Yeah, well, I just go with it, man. I'm just rolling with it. This won't work. He doesn't need to deauth any further. Yeah, you're right. Define term RTFM. Read the fucking manual. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. slash O dash O switch sends deauthentication packets. I didn't do dash O. I did deauth and how many deauth packets I wanted to send. So I assume dash O, whatever. Isn't hashcat aircrack? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe aircrack isn't the best one to do, but that's the one I'm doing. I mean, I guess these are your other options, and I haven't used any of them, so I couldn't help you with those. Okay, cool. So we've got our dump, and now I need to find where Kali stores those password lists. And I know, okay, so now the whole point of this stream was to actually use this guy's 500 million passwords to see if my router's password is in this password list that has now been spread to everybody and their dog as of February 22nd, as of a few days ago. So this guy ended up taking this guy's 500 million password files, and this guy here, this Troy Hunt who posted it, he hashed all of those passwords using SHA-1. This guy cracked all those and got 97%. So what I really want to do is he uploaded, awesome, sweet. Shit, he 7-zipped fragments of this. Download. Hurry and download. The guy said that once these are unzipped, it's about 1.8, just under 2 gigabytes. The clear text passwords. So let's get all of those guys. Sweet. So let me go to show all. I just want to make sure I have all of these guys coming down. So we've got run 4, run 3, run 2, run 1. Not too I think we're good. So let's get all these guys down. I want to use this password file, this word list. So, okay, while I'm waiting, let's look at the chat. So, okay, I used to go. So let's see. Name, no life or name Twitch. I used to just go with it too, but then I tried installing Arch Linux. Okay. GPUhash.me. These websites will crack it for you. So I could upload that handshake list. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of get a little bit sketchy when I do that. Because then all of a sudden, if they're able to get into it, well, I guess if they could get into it, my password would already be on a password list. So, yeah, okay. We could do that. But let's see, because this is a pretty big word list, 500,000,000 actual passwords. Something like rainbow tables. I think rainbow tables are used for, aren't they the things hashing the passwords on your Windows operating system? Um, yeah. And I think there's tools on Kali to crack rainbow tables, I thought. Oh, this makes the process much faster if you can compare hash passwords. The problem with the method is that you have to brute force a password. Works well if the admin of the router is dumb enough to use a numerical password. Exactly. Yeah, Plano Devo. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the problem with the word list is exactly you have to have an exact password match. And the idea is kind of like I want to see. I could, what I could do is I could download this password list, and I could just grep into it and find my password to see if it's out there um, on the internet. And it tells me I would probably have to change it. But I just want to go through this exercise of actually using Kali to do it. So I'll actually run aircrack with the password list once I unzip these. Word list, mix, and a lot more. Well, let's see. I'm going to open. Let's have a look at what he's got going on here. So word lists, there's some existing word lists in Kali. Where are they located? Here we go. So let's have a look at what they have. Let's have a look at what the word lists have going. So I'm just going to terminal. Where was it again? Share word list. Jesus. So what do we got going on here? So we have nmap list, password list. What is the one? Because they talked about. So now that we have the encrypted, yeah, we can run that against a password file of your choice. Remember, the type of attack is only good as your password file. I'll be using the default password list included with aircrack. So on backtrack named dark code. Is it in pen test passwords or is it in user share? I guess we'll find out. So user share. That's not what I need. rocku.txt. That's let's just check out what this guy is. There we go. Rock you. How to use the popular password rockyou.txt in Kali Linux 2. Let's just see what it's got to say about it before I don't think it's very populous. So he's copying that right to root. Let's just copy it to our home directory, and we can cd to our home directory. Can I just untar it? Was it like VF? What is it again? What's the command again? CVF. Let's try that. What am I making here? I thought it was a switch. Do I have G unzip? I guess I do. So let's have a look at this guy. I don't think it's going to be anything too large. Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat. I'm going to go back to chat while we're looking at this. Well, because it's your own Wi-Fi, LOL, just search your password in the files. Yeah, well, I know. I get it. Yeah, XCX. I could, because it's my own Wi-Fi, of course, I can just search for the password. And if I find it, yeah, but then that wouldn't be fun, right? Then there'd be nothing for me to stream. What do you think will happen when you drive to your house and use your Wi-Fi? What do you think will happen when they drive to your house? Yeah, this is all academic, man. I mean, XCX. I don't know. Sorry. I wonder what is the hash rate. I don't know. If these are hashed, then you can't get into it. Actually, this guy apparently has cracked them. 97% of all of them. So he's got almost 500 million passwords that hopefully we should have down here. Opening it up in here is going to be a nightmare. I shouldn't have bothered. But we can copy those across. The only thing is I tried to install this VirtualBox extensions to be able to share my host folder with the virtual machine, and it was giving me grief. So yeah, anyway. So what line are we on at the very end? It's actually quite a large file. I mean, we're 3.3 million through. There's a problem. What I could do, since we're killing time though, I guess I should do the aircrack Is it just aircrack-ng? And we've got a word list. So we can go .w to rocku.txt. So there's our password word list. And we obviously need to pass in that handshake file. Write key to file. I assume it's reading that writable file. But let's just go ahead and look at our steps here. Wherever the heck it was. So just so I know the switches. So aircrack, I guess we have to pass that SSID of the router and the word list and then the path to the capture file. Okay. Sounds fair enough. And clearly that didn't copy. And then the path to our capture file, what did I call it? Dump.cap. So it's going through all of those passphrases and testing it. And let's see, get an approximate idea. That's not too bad. 1.5 hours. Is it growing or shrinking? It's staying pretty static. So we'll see. But I don't expect it to find it in this word list. I'm going to have to copy that word list we downloaded. But anyway, so let's see here. PM me if you need something. Hey, see you, Ramones. Hopefully I caught you in time before you left. Well, NVM, I'm stupid. They probably like a key value, some table. What do you mean NVMS? I'm not sure. Blot87, hey, bud. I'm way behind on the chat here, so hold on. 1K hash is slow, bro. Fair enough. Assuming a 10-character key with lowercase, uppercase, and numbers, and probably special characters as well. If you're using home GPU, you can probably get 10 megabit. Yeah, so you guys are kind of interested in that. If we read, the guy who actually uploaded the decrypted hashes, right? The inverted hashes, and actually has it in plain text. He was talking a bit about it in his stream. So he started off getting this 500 million hash file. And then he started off. So who's cracking this as well? So he said he started on Thursday. He downloaded the file and he removed the counts. So if you ever do download this guy's file, this Troy Hunt guy, he has the hash, the SHA-1 hash on a line, but then he added a colon and after that a count. And the count represents how many times that password has been found in the other word list that he merged into this one massive word list. So this guy removed the counts, obviously, so he just had pure SHA-1 hashes. And he said he's already at 94.5%. For me, it's a good exercise to test the efficiency of word lists, specifically blah, blah. He said, so his rig is 2 NVIDIA GTX 1080s. So, you know, he started yesterday and he had, you know, over 400 million hashes done overnight. So that's pretty insane, right? That's pretty insane. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I was mining coin, probably. Bitcoin is SHA-256. There's a Linux program that uses the information that you put into build a customized word list. It's great if you know your target. What you could do is use the information that you put on social media to see if that program can guess your password based on it. I'm not quite following. Okay, see you later, XO. Need to get some stuff done. Why not check if your router has WPS enabled? It will save you the pain. WPS enabled. Then crack it with Reaver. Let me copy Reaver because I don't know what Reaver is. So you guys are way ahead of me. You gotta. I'm like noob. I'm doing this almost for the first time. Reaver pen testing tools. Reaver implements a brute force attack against your Wi-Fi protected setup. Is that when you have that button on the front of your thing and you click it and then you can connect? Make sure your router is receiving. Check the WPS. Press the button within 2 minutes. Press it. Follow the instructions for WPS connections. I've never really used that. I mean, I know it's common on all routers, but unfortunately, I'm no rock star with that. And the tool is called Common User Password Profile, I think. Oh, so that's what you were getting at, Plano Devo. Plano Devo. By the time you read the chat, I came back. Hey, Ramones. Cool. All right. Anyway, so that's working pretty quick. But now I need to get my extensions installed. And this frickin' thing doesn't work. Unable to run this. VirtualBox. What do you call them on VirtualBox, these extensions? Guest edition. So I'm unable to install. Install VirtualBox guest extensions on Linux fails. On Kali Linux, even better. Okay, so devices, insert. Should start automatically. I click run. Oops, there's a problem. Unable, and that's exactly what I get. So run, unable to locate. So let's see what Buddy's got going on here. Since the installer won't run from the virtual CD permissions issue, so I copied virtual guest editions run from the mounted disk to my desktop. So I just need virtual guest editions.run. Okay, cool. So it's like someone crap terminals all over my screen here. Ramones, you're a superstar. Yeah, you sent me that. You sent that link earlier. I'll use the app get. I like that. Cool. So let's try. I want to see if I can get some shared folders. So I shared this. Now I may have to restart. So let's ls. I'm thinking of Mac. So yeah, I've got shell shock. Exactly. It's crazy. So let's go to, and where would my, yo, Rider Def, thanks for the follow, man. Awesome. So VirtualBox shared host file, host folder. Create the folder on the host computer. Boot the guest OS. Select devices shared folder. Choose add. Select home user share for folder path. Select okay. So let's go back here and let's go to home. CD. That doesn't feel right. user. I should have a share folder. Yeah, you can use a command, no struggle. I guess you could say, yeah, going to settings after reboot again, the folder was transient. It will disappear. Did I make it transient? I think I had it. Machine folder, auto mount. The share is Kali, and I'm assuming I should see share under my home. So if I have to reboot, so be it. Set it up once Kali is closed, not inside it. I did set it up, but yeah. But the guest extensions were just installed. So anyway, I'm going to kill this process and this and this and this and whatever's on here. And we already know that we just simply need to use a word list and use our capture and hopefully crack. Okay, cool. So let me just restart, see if that. Let's have a look back here anyway. See, that's all hashed. So I don't know what the heck that was. This looks like hashes that are left in this file. So found PW no rules. Top 130 found PW wordless and a lot more. Run one. Well, let's do this. And to be honest, I could care less about this unfound stuff. Plus, I'm low on space, so I'm going to turf that. At least he didn't hardcore compress this, because it unzips pretty quick. I don't think Spale9, I don't think you sniff on a port exactly. You select an adapter that you capture packets on. We can probably open up Wireshark on Kali if it's installed. I'm sure it is. Once we get back in there. So, okay, so let's restart this. But let's just verify our shared folders. Here we go. So, edit, auto mount, folder name, and I want to read from there. Perfect. So let's hope. All right. Once I can push this just off to, once we get that shared folder, I'll push this off to Kali, and then I might just see if I can look at, run a tail on this and just look at the last few lines. So, expecting to see shared. Let's have a look here. Turn on personal sharing to share I don't know what that is. That's not what I need. Let's just see if I can see some. Yeah, I downloaded the pre-made from Open Security. Have you used that before, Ramones? Anyway, so why can't I see? So shared folder VirtualBox not showing. Because I thought it looked like it was in my home directory. In the media directory. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try this though. I am going to media CD-ROM. Let's look at media CD-ROM, and let's copy CD-ROM box Linux additions.run to home. So I'm just going to try running that without that apt-get we did. I think maybe that might be the case. So guest edition. I know we already did this, but I'm just going to do that again. Yeah, so hey Kitty, other Kelly, sorry. How's it going? Coding epic NES 13. So hard to read out names. Thanks for the follow, man. All right, come on. Let's install. Okay, so running kernel mode will not be replaced until system is restarted, of course. So let's go ahead, send a reset to this guy. So found password no rules 1. This is run to found password top 1300 rules. let me unzip this. It's not very big. So, found password wordless mix and a lot more. Found password brute force. I think this guy mentioned he's going to merge in because it seems like he's got a few things going on here. Let's go back to the chat. Let's go back to what this guy's talking about. So run one contains almost 90% of those passwords. So that's what we want. And I unzipped that and it was 1 gig, that text file. So as soon as I get that guest extension seeing our shared folder on our host, we'll copy that across. Wordless with top 13. Yeah. So great. He got, what did he get? 3 million? 30 million, sorry. And then run 3 small best of wordless with manning 6.3 rules and combos. And then I think he's just going to merge everything together. But for now, I think we can just run that one big word list. And I guess I could pipe these all these rules into one file. Okay, so let's start up again after I installed those guest extensions. Let's hope. If not, I'll dig a little deeper on Google, see what I'm doing wrong. So somebody mentioned the settings I used, the performance settings that my host will give to this guest virtual machine. And it's running like crazy. Like there's it at 5 gigs and 2 processors is way more than enough, clearly. That's plenty. I mean, once we start doing this word list, it may take some. But even that word list, that Rocky word list, it was already 15% done when I canceled it. So it looks like our Cali is at least mounted, but I did use VMware Mema one. I used the VMware player, and the issues I guess are the same. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the shared folder settings would have been quicker and easier, but you also have to install guest extensions with it. So it's taking so long here. Come on. Come on. Oh, I do have a preview. Why am I not seeing it? What the heck? Do I know how to use it? A little bit, But no, I'm not claiming to be a Kali wizard at all. Really, all I've ever used was Aircrack in the past. So, to be honest, I haven't used any of the other utilities on it. Let me just shut down again. I don't know what was going on here. Let's try this again. You hack with Kali, you're meaning? Yeah, cool. I want to get more into it. I find it really interesting. Um, Mostly, I haven't been streaming on there, Mema, but um, what I mostly cover is programming. So my previous stream last week was we created a video game using a game engine in C++. So we spent about 4 days creating a game. And then before that, I was doing C++ training on the stream. I'm just kind of trying to find some traction on Twitch to see what I kind of want to cover and so on. Um, yeah, the reason why I actually wanted to do this Kali stream is because I remember reading this guy's blog about how he came up with this 500 million password list, and I was really curious if I could use that password list to just hack into my router. Do you want a people IP? Do you want a what's that? I have 400 IPs. What do you mean you got 400 IP addresses? What do you mean? Netbot? Okay, I'm going to leave this running. I'm hoping that it is loading. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? See you, Mema. Come on, sucker. It's like as if it sees it. What the fuck am I missing? Okay, I'm going to send a shutdown. I'm going to try it again. Oh, it was totally there. It just went and went. Okay, I'll try this again. Let's see what may be happening. I don't know if I want to do that. might unmount that. Okay, I'm going to start it up, and then I'm going to pause the stream. I got to take a bio break, and hopefully once we're back in business. I'll be right back. All right, let's have a look at this. So I rebooted VirtualBox Kali. It's strange. Like the preview is golden. You can see the preview window, and it's actually I'm right clicking, and it seems like it's all updating, but the screen doesn't seem to work. So I'm just checking out maybe some resolutions to the problem. And it looks like disabling 3D acceleration, which I know is enabled. But just try clicking anywhere. Of course. shut down the VM. You have assigned all your CPUs to the VM. Now this is going to run low on resources. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out here why we've got a black screen. Your solution of turning off is for the guest machine worked. Thanks. So maybe that is it. I don't know. I'm going to shut down again and we'll restart. Actually cancel because you can see it. Let's see here. So I canceled the shutdown. Is it paused? What the fuck? What's going on? What is this gray matter? It's just crazy. It's like channel scan lines. I'm going to shut it down. Maybe it is the 3D acceleration. Excuse me. Sorry. Hey, we got a new follow, Pockle. Thanks for the follow. Send shutdown any day. So according to that post, hopefully it's this. That's the problem. Very strange because we were just in there. And I mean, I guess I ran and installed the guest tools, so maybe that was it. I was getting this before, so that's not it. I was getting grub as well, so this isn't it. As soon as we load. Let's go. Please don't give me a preview, but not show it on the screen. Come on. Someone said to use VMware. Shit, now I'm starting to think that was a good idea. I should have done that. Root tour. Yeah. Okay, good. Looks good. Let's have a look at our home directory. So this doesn't look promising though, because I was looking for a share. Not too sure about that either. Oh, share follow from Ray Nemo. Thanks for the follow, Ray. Automatically shared folder in Linux GIS is slightly different. First, you must be a member of... Cautious. If the host is Windows, you might find permission. This can be corrected by manually mounting with read-write options. So let's go ahead. So perfect. So maybe it is just called sfcali. Okay, great. This is what we wanted. Okay, good. And then in my brilliance, I mucked with the screen now. Damn. It looks a bit blurry for you guys, I bet. See what I can do here. Second here. Showing full screen, seamless, show at the top. Oh. I guess that's okay. I'll just zoom it in when I need to. Okay, so let's move this gigabyte file. We'll copy it into training Kali. This is our shared folder to the guest. So copy, I'll just go media, SF, Kali, found, and we'll move it to our home. Copy it to our home. So what are the switches to tail? There's a dash N for the number of lines, and I think it's dash F to get the tail, dash F to get the last part. So we'll do a tail dash F N 1000 or so to see the last passwords. Here's a decrypt. So here, this is one of that guy's password files after he cracked all those SHA-1 hashes. So these are passwords. So I guess I can pipe in all of his password files into one large file. I'll do that a little bit later. But here's some of the passwords. Clearly some are probably not passwords. They were just interpreted as passwords, but some of these probably would be. And this is just a fraction of that password file that guy created. Okay, so it's copied across. Let's go to our home. Let's tail from the end. So here's like, we don't want to open that huge file because it's almost 500 million passwords, right? So I'm just tailing the last 1,000 lines. But I guess it looks like passwords to me. Looks good. Nothing overly complex so far, but let me maximize this so you guys can see it better. Cool. So let's run our aircrack against this password file. So I guess we can do it here. So let's clear this. And so it was aircrack.ng, or was it aircrack? Aircrack. And the word list is in home found password list. Awesome. And then we wanted to load our capture file. What was it? Switch again. I'm going to cheat. Let's go look at our. So we need this and then the path. Okay, so we just need a dash B to include the SSID of my router. So I'm going to have to run because I closed my monitor here. Not my monitor, sorry. I closed I'll just run these again. Let's open up a new terminal. So we'll start that. And it's not really what I was looking for. There we go. So the monitor's set. So then the next line was, let's dump and get the B SID of my router. I don't know why it needs that. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Because we're going to crack an already captured file. Maybe it needs to actually test found results against the actual router. I'll look while we run it. I'll try to figure out why we need the BSID. Anyway, I wonder if I need to load up that let's just control C. IWconfig. I just want to see if it shows up okay. So WLAN mon does. Arrow dump ng WLAN monitor. What am I missing? I guess it's possible that this, I need to set the monitor to ignore anything but monitor mode stuff. Maybe that is it. Because I'm expecting to see. So let's just run this command. So it is WLAN mon. So the monitor is on. Come on, guy. Channel 8. There's definitely stuff on those channels. Okay. Not too sure what's going on, but I have an issue here, and the issue is I made a bit of a mess with my settings because I can't see show at the top of screen. Hold on here. I got to figure out what I did wrong because I'm missing VirtualBox no longer showing bottom bar. Let's see what that gives me. Lost menu bar and taskbar. Mini toolbar. Maybe that's what it is. When guest VM is set to full screen. Let's just see what we got here. Because I'm in scale mode, so host C. Okay. Maybe that's all it was. So Alt, right, Alt, C. Perfect. Okay, so what do we got going on? So that, I think, is right. Connect network adapter. Maybe what I did when I was mucking around with the settings, let me just go back here. Network. No, that hasn't changed. Nor is that. Let me see some. Let's see if I can even get to the internet. Let's see if I just don't have any network at all. Let's go here. So we look like we have internet. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna load that. I'm gonna load up that driver again. Actually, I'll do a Control R on here. Let's search for mod probe. There we go. I've got the command already. Okay, so I loaded that again. I don't know if that, maybe that just obviously doesn't persist. So let's try iwconfig. So it's not showing. Hold on a sec. Okay, so we're good. So let's airmon. Okay. So that monitor should be applied now on that handle. Okay, good. So let's try it again. Hopefully this will kick it into shape. There we go. Okay, good. So, okay, so we'll get our BSID now. And then finally the path to our dump. So dump cap. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So let's see. When we ran that RockU password list, which was included in Kali, it was down to about an hour and 15 minutes. So we've got I'm not buying that, but 14 hours. Well, we're not going to sit and watch for 14 hours, but let's see the result. I'm going to post the result on my page tomorrow to see the success of it. And also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push all of these password files together. So I'll pipe them all into a single text file, and I'll see. I've never tried putting massive files on GitHub. Largest file size. If you exceed 1 gigabyte, you might receive a polite email from GitHub support. In addition, we place a strict limit of files exceeding 100 megabytes in size. So I may have to split that file up on GitHub. But what I'll do is I'll pipe all of these password files together into one large password file, and I'll share it on my GitHub. And that is, if we go to my Twitch it's right here, GitHub 0xDEC0DE5. So I will create a new repository on GitHub. And I will let's call it Kali word lists. And let's put some adjective on it. Super Kali word list. And description. Based on Troy Hunt's Pwn v2, I think. Let's see if I can snap that. And I'll initialize it with I don't need, I'll put a README in it, and then we can add more details in the README. So I will clone this. So I will clone this. I will clone this. Dir repo, I think. Okay, good. So repo. I keep going list. So good. So we'll go git clone. And we will clone this. There we go. No VI. I guess Notepad. Capital R. Get my command straight in here in a second. CD super Kali word list dir. I think you just run Notepad on Windows, and then I can go README. Okay, cool. So let's super Kali word list based on Troy Hunt's Pwn passwords v2. How do you do Markdown? I think we do this. I need a Markdown viewer. And also we got to give a shout out to the guy who put all that effort in. And Mex. Six, 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 six. On so based on Troy Hunt's Pwn passwords v2 and using mech 666 666 decrypted SHA
I think that will do for now. So I'll save that. We've cloned it. What's the best way on Windows to pipe two files together? Windows pipe to text files together. Yeah, that should probably be it. Copy B temp plus. So more plus 2. The file name piped out to temp. Type temp file1 to out.txt. Or I can use copy temp plus. Interesting. I'll try that copy. So while we're doing that, let's have a look at our Kali root. So yeah, we got 13 hours left to go. We can see all the passwords it's going through. Sweet. 500 million. That's awesome. Okay. So we've got run 2, we've got run 1, and we've got run 3, found password, word list, mix and matches, brute force, and special. Okay, cool. So I will unzip this. I know, dude. Curl more than a bench, more than you bench. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, I know, but it's literally the guy cracked the SHA-1 hash, decrypted all those passwords. He got 480 million almost. So that's how many passwords we got to go through. So we're doing a word list attack where we have the passwords in a word list. We're not brute forcing anything. I'm just going to rename these just so it's a little easier to deal with. 02, 3, and we'll give that a shot. So I'm going to snap that, and I want to snap that. So I now want to, I'll open up a new command prompt. We'll do it. So where are those guys? T Miller downloads, sweet. So CD, lovely. Oh, Jesus, Dion. I'll try to get my fingers working. So, okay. So let's try. It's question mark, right, on Windows. Perfect. So, okay. So B indicates a binary file. What's lowercase b? Just curious. I'm trying to see how copy B. And most of the time, I wonder if the B is required. So let's just look through this before I go gung ho. I need to concatenate text files. Fortunately, I only have Windows. Cannot install new software. I've noticed that more has the plus N option. Let me just try. So let's see, more slash question mark. So more displays output one screen at a time. Plus N, start displaying the first file at line N. +2. Start displaying the first file. Not too sure about that. Let's try this copy command. So let's get out of this. So copy. I'll just assume I'm gonna look at the help again. Let's just go copy command on Windows. I fail to see where that /B comes from. I don't know if casing is relevant or not on Windows for this, but I'll go with his. I've still got the zip files if it gets borked. So we've got 01.txt, and I'll try this plus 02.txt to out.txt. Very cool. And that's 1.3. Okay, you know what? That clearly works. So let's pipe 03 into out to get out 2, and then 4 into out 2 to get out 3, and then delete all these, and we're golden, I think. Okay. So txt3, and pipe it into out, and we'll just force out 02.txt. Not enough fudge. Okay. I got to make some room here, guys. And I'll delete that. And we already dealt with 1 and with 2, so I'll delete those. And I'll empty. The reason why I'm tight on space, I'm boot camping Windows right now. I'm streaming on my iMac, running Windows, and I didn't really think ahead. I only partitioned enough off of my Mac hard drive to install Windows and a few other things, so I'm tight on space. Cool, so we are done with 03.txt and out.txt now, so I'll delete those. This guy is 1.4, so growing in size is a good thing. And then we'll pipe 4 into out 2 into our final. So Control C, copy /B. This dude definitely deserves an uptick. So 4 into out 2. I guess this will be our final word list. So I'll clean up after myself since 1.45 gigabytes. That sounds about right after reading that guy's stream, or sorry, his post. Copy. So let's now move this into our repo that I cloned. But before I do that, I am going to copy it to training Kali. So this is our shared. Okay, so now let's go back into Kali in the virtual machine and Tor. So yeah, we still got, it's gonna run all night. I'm gonna kill this anyway, and I'll use it against that full list. But first off, um, I want to, what was I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I want to open a terminal, and let's go ahead and just tail. Let's just tail that. So what was that under media? So I want to cd to media SF Cali. So shared folder, I guess, is what SF probably means. So let's just do an LSL. So I want to see the size. So yeah, our final word list definitely bigger than the partial word list we're using right now. But I want to tail end of, and let's look at 2,000 lines, and we'll look at final. So yeah, it looks like everything got piped together. Control C. I'm a little concerned to do a cat on that, but I will. So there we go. We're scrolling through. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. But these are all of the unhashed actual plain text passwords in that Troy Hunt's 500 million password list that he hashed with SHA-1. So this is cool. So I'm going to push this word list onto GitHub right now. But before I do that, let's go ahead and, oh shoot, I shouldn't have closed. I could have. Let's go back to that. So we'll cd to media shared folder Cali. And I guess I didn't need to do that. I just want to copy. I just want to copy this. So final word list to our home directory. Let's copy that. And we can just turf this found one. So I'm going to Control C this, and we'll start again with the new word list. Let's see if our copy's done. So the copy's not quite done yet. I'm going to actually delete this guy. Shoot, I bet you I'm out of space on this too. Disk full, crap. Okay, well, no problem. I should have probably deleted that Word file first. Okay, so out of space, I guess we'll close. I guess we'll just simply power off the machine. Settings, how does it resize? So storage, it's fixed. Well, this isn't the problem. It's my machine that's the problem. Clearly so I might as well delete this, give us a gig. I'm going to zoom up to training. I just want to clean this up a bit. Stuff, MinGW, that I need. Yeah, it's no fun when you do this. Like, you're always scrounging on space. I wish I wasn't. So I've got the final word list in downloads, but I did already move this, did I not, to two places. The first thing I'm going to do is, let me do this. I've got the final word list. So let's git add dot, and we'll add those files. So I'll get everything up to Git, and then I'll delete this repository, which will free me up 1.5 gigabytes. So git commit -m to define a message. We'll just say initial word list check-in from Mex 666. I got to give him credit because he did all the heavy lifting, which decrypted approximately, I don't know, 96, I think it was about 97% of Pwn passwords v2 from Troy Hunt. Now it's a pretty long check-in message, but okay, so let's do a git status just to see what's queued up. It doesn't matter. So I got a git push. I'll push that commit up. Take a bit of time because we're pushing up. And I've been getting this. It's like it's been dropping connection on me here. Let me just Control C. Git push. Okay, that's going to take a little bit of time. I am going to, I'm just going to mute my audio. Not that I got things to hide, but I'm just going to run to the bathroom, and I'll leave my screen going. So if you guys want to bail, you can bail, and you can come back as this is pushing up. But it's going to take a bit of time. Like we've only moved. Yeah, this might take a bit of time because we got to push up a whole half a gig. And you know what? I made a huge mistake. Let me Control C. I'm going to have to reset this. Git reset. Git status. Nothing to... So git checkout. I'm trying to just kill that checkout. I'm just trying to kill that checkout. Because... yeah. Git push. Well, let's try it. I'm just concerned I'm kind of pushing maximum on that, and this might fail. I gotta go to the washroom though, so I'm gonna go to the washroom. Hopefully you guys maybe take a break yourselves or whatever and come back. This will take a bit of time to upload to GitHub. Yo, yo, yo. Okay. Well, that's chugging along. Maybe we got work to do anyway here. So what are we cleaning up? Downloads. Let's just go back in here. We got the final word list, but I don't need that anymore because we push that to 2 locations. I'll empty recycle bin. I certainly do. And let's go back into Kali. Yeah, clearly that shutdown and the running out of space left a bunch of dirt to clean up. Oh, sorry. Please say we don't have the same issue. Nope, good. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our home directory. I'll turf this. Move to trash. I don't need RawQ anymore. Move to trash. We've got final word list, but it's partially copied. We'll move to trash. Everything else we can leave. So let's go ahead and copy. We'll go ahead and copy that out. So we want to go to media, SF, and we still got our word list. So I want to copy final word list to my home directory. Let's hope we do not run out of space. Cross my fingers, no crash. I don't know if I should push that clear password file up. Hey, Solve Accept. Thanks for the follow, man. I may not push that up. I may not push this. I'm just a little concerned. Like, I don't want to expose people's passwords. If you guys want this huge password list, clear text password list, whisper me. And I'll figure out how to post it somewhere so you can get access to it. I just don't know if I want to broadcast this. I mean, it's a pretty gray area, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll think about what I want to do with it. But if you really need a copy, you can whisper through Twitch or however else you want to don't contact me through the chat. Okay, good. So copied over. Okay, let's make a bit of room on our machine here because we are close to awesome. I don't need this anymore. see how much room I got. I got like 2.5, not even 2.5 gigabytes free. Ooh, that's horrible. Okay. All right. So, but that's okay because now everything should be golden. So we got our 1.6 gigabyte password file with almost 500 million passwords in it. Let us, okay, great. I better, I may have to reload that. So it actually does see the USB network adapter. So let's go ahead and is it air dump? They've got some weird spellings on it. It's like arrow sometimes. It's air with an E sometimes. I guess it's airmon I want, right? I guess there's no E. So airmon. Airmon starts YLAN 0. And so we wanted our air dump. I'm going to try to do it without looking at that tutorial. Air dump. Was it simply YLAN? YLAN 0 mon 0? YLAN 0 mon. Okay, so I just need to get my SID. Okay. Cool. So let's aircrack. So we need the word lists, our password files. So what is it? Final and -B, and paste our bsid, and then just our dump cap file. So this guy here gets passed in without a switch. So we just go dump 0, tab, cap. So what do we got here? So word list, bsid, and there we go. Hey, Blot87. No, I don't do any security whatsoever. Not really. I mean, I a software engineer is what I do. I'm a software engineer, and obviously security is involved in that. But no, I don't. I'm not a white hat, gray hat, black hat hacker. Don't claim to be. But I think this is kind of neat. I just find this a bit interesting. So I'm like a noob hacking through this, like some of you who might be watching might be as well. Okay, so what happened here? We got a floating point exception. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Let's do a bit of research on that. So aircrack floating point exception. Let's have a look in their bug tracker. I made a patch. This is old. Try using a different word list. Yeah, well, that's... Wonder if there's a problem with some of the word list. Because there's some goofy... made a patch that removes the need of K. and a divide by 0. So random mod 0. K is set to rand mod 0. Modulo 0 raises that floating point exception. Hey, no problem, Blot. Which language do you recommend for starting in security? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not a big security guy. But most of it, I think, would be probably in Python. I mean, I've seen a lot of scripting done in Python. Python's a really good language to use for a lot of things. Web programming, for example, full stack programming, and for scripting, and definitely scripting. Yeah, so I think Python is definitely the way to go. And I think I've seen training courses like hacking with Python. So Python scripting for the aspiring hacker. Yeah, definitely Python. But the cool thing, C though, I did a little bit of security stuff. So on my GitHub, github.com/Trent Miller, I played around with this Snort. It's an intrusion detection system. And I kind of I didn't reverse engineer. I took their C++ code and ported it into Visual Studio because it was a bit kludgy. I don't know if Snort is really being maintained anymore because I think it was bought. I think it was bought by like, who's that company? Symantec, I think, bought it. I can't remember the history, but it's kind of a bit of a dead project now. And it was the original intrusion detection program out there. And what that is it sits and it captures all incoming packets into your network adapter. So a lot of companies would put a Snort IDS right on the periphery, kind of like in the DMZ, right when all the incoming traffic was coming in. You would have a Snort that would be in between the internet and your front-facing router. And Snort used to have, well, it still does. There's a community who provides rules, and the rules are like text files. So some of these rules, and these rules allow you to handle different, for example, if this message comes up, like if there's, I'm not exactly sure what this means, but IPv4. So like IP version 4 is like the different octets in an IP, like, 1298.0.0.1. That's IPv4. If it has an invalid header length, so depending on where you are in the network stack, so network stack IP. So kind of like when you get the physical layer, data link layer, network. So like I think IP comes in on the network layer, layer 3. The transport layer is TCP. So the conjunction of the two is TCP IP. Anyway, on the network layer, you get an IP packet coming in, and it expects a certain length in the headers. Like there's not rules, but there's a governing body for how IPv4 should be. And anyway, this just says if the headers are an invalid length, then this rule will trigger, which will trigger an alert, which will be a pop-up. Or you can behave against that alert in Snort. Anyway, I did a bit of that, but I haven't done any real Kali Linux stuff other than, I guess, this wireless stuff. But yeah, I don't claim to be an expert. Okay, let's just see. Maybe I had that. We'll see. Yeah, we look okay so far. So while this is kind of going on, obviously we're not going to sit around and wait for this. I'll post the results. I'll probably do a follow-up stream in the morning, but I don't think I'm going to do Cal-E stuff tomorrow. I think I'm going to do some C++ tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is let's go back to this Troy Hunt dude while we're cracking all the passwords. So what he did is he got the 500 million passwords, but he hashed them using SHA-1. So what you could do is if you want to check to see if your password has been pwned and it's out there for people to consume and use and maybe try to break into your Gmail or whatever. I know Gmail wouldn't allow any sort of brute force attacks, but if you want to see if your common password is we can do a SHA-1 online, and let's just say SHA-1 other hash. Let's just try, let me say password. So here's the SHA-1 hash for a password named password. So you would copy that SHA-1 hash and you would go, and unfortunately you have to download this 8.8 gigabyte file, and he's got it on torrent. Didn't take long for me to get it. Where the heck is it? If you want to check to see if your password is out there in the bad world of all the bad people, you could use torrent. And I know I'm all schizophrenic here. I thought, where did he put it? Where did I see the link to the torrent file? He actually has an API where you can actually pass. I wouldn't want to pass my password to him though. And the reason why I wouldn't use his API to pass my password, to have him hash it in SHA-1 and then check it against his list, is because now you're giving him your password. Not to say that he's going to do anything nefarious with it, but as soon as you send him that password, he could, oh, wait a minute. Oh, so you can pass his, okay. Let's try to see. So instead of downloading the file, let's type in his API. Doesn't seem like, here we go. Let's just check to see if that password is there. I bet you it is. I mean, pwned password / and then let's pass that hash. And casing, it's irrelevant. Uppercase or lowercase, I hope it doesn't bork. You know what? He actually did the same thing. Yeah, okay, good. So let's actually fudge this a bit. What's a common password? I don't know. I love kitties. I don't know. I mean, I bet you somebody has had that as a password. You know, there's some cat lady out there who does. So let's just see. Assuming this API is working. So 12. So I think it returns back the count of how many times that password has been pwned and was in some sort of password list. Range, I don't care about range. This returns back the count in the body. It's the count. Anyway, you get a 200 HTTP response code to say that it found that password. Let me just muck this hash up. Not found. It returned a 404. maybe because that hash is invalid. But let's do a really complex password and see what the result would be. So we'll do the same thing as before, and I'll start throwing in some special characters and some crazy orders. So let's hash that crazy thing, and we'll copy it. And we'll pass that. So we get a 404. So that is a valid hash. We just get a 404. So I assume he returns, his API returns a 404 if, I don't see him say a 404. But I'm quite positive he just returns a 404 if that password doesn't exist in his password list. So yeah, so anybody who uses this for a password, it's totally compromised. You know, if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say, let's hash that. I bet you that's in there too. 155 times that's been used or found. So you can check against his list using this API if your password has been compromised. It's kind of cool. But anyway, we have cracked all of those SHA-1 hashes. Oh, I haven't. This guy has, MEX6666. So we're simply taking his output, and he put it in a bunch of files, and we pipe those files into one large file, and that's what we're running on here. So I might bail out because I don't want to sit here and wait around for 20 hours. And I will post the results up on my homepage tomorrow and do a quick follow-up stream on this tomorrow morning when I stream at 10 a.m. But then after I kind of follow up on this, I'm going to do some C++. So yeah, we'll let this run. Any questions, chat it up. If you want that password file all decrypted, you can whisper me and I'll see what I can do. All right, guys, I'm going to kill the stream. I think we covered wireless hacking using Aircrack more than enough. So thanks for all the follows and for the chats, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you guys around. I'll probably do a little bit more Kali. If you're looking for some expert at Kali, you haven't found him, but you know, I'm the guy who we hack through it and make it, eventually we get to where we need to be. But if you need to learn some game programming, C++, some full stack web development, you name it, that's what I'll be covering a lot. So anyway, I'm going to stop the stream for now. I might come back a little later today. I kind of feel like doing some more stuff, but anyway, for now, I'm out. Talk to you guys. Thanks.